something will snap in her brain and she'll feel really good. Adrenaline will like course through her veins, and then she can like see really far or like hear really well, or like
moisturized in her lane, driving, positive self-image.
It's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I'm becoming Spider-Man sequence. I can see the flies on the wall and I can hear the raindrops.
Hello, and welcome back to Nostalgia Club, the podcast where we, three sound designers, talk about books, TV shows, movies, and just stuff that we loved as kids. And we can definitely talk very well. My name is Victoria, and I'm joined by...
Jino.
And
me. You'll have to use context clues to guess my name. I'm Michael.
Yay!
That was fast.
You didn't even give them a
gave
second.
Up the bit quickly.
Nah, whatever. We got stuff to do.
But this episode is for the mystery solvers, Michael.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And you know what? I read the last page of this book first. So
why?
I don't know.
Why?
I wanted to see how long it was so I could game out like how many pages a day to read.
You know what? As a kid, I used to do that with books where I would get like maybe 3 or 4 chapters in, I get kind of stressed. Be like, hope they're okay. I go to the last page. Oh, they're okay. Go back to where it was.
I actually genuinely do have a friend whose routine when she reads books is she will read the last page first before she reads anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because she wants to make sure she's okay with the ending before she invests time reading the whole thing. That's so
valid. Okay, complete tangent. Hi, we're talking about virals. Complete tangent. The obsession with keeping spoilers, spoilers, is I think there's been some studies that people enjoy media more when they have been spoiled because now they can anticipate a thing they like instead of anticipating something they might not like.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm usually okay with spoilers. At this point, it's so easy to just get spoiled by something happening on the internet before you've seen it. But there's definitely some things that are just such a joy to discover when you have no context going into it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually a moment in this book that was like that for me. So I'm
exciting.
excited to talk about it.
Okay, yes, we were talking about Virals, which is a book series, but we're just talking about the first book. But it's by an author named Kathy Reichs and also her son, Brendan.
Yeah,
it's co-written. I think your
the
book
later
doesn't
books.
say it.
But the thank you, the acknowledgement in the first book does thank Brendan for...
It is written by... I'm pretty sure it's written by both. I think Michael has a version of the book that's like an older copy. I remember because when I first read Virals, I had that book cover. And I think they were very much going for this is a Kathy Reichs book. And also her son, Brendan, helped. But because she's such a big name, she wrote the series Bones, which was made into a TV show.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest selling point. What does it say on the inside?
Well, here's the thing. Inside my book, if I find... Or no, I'm thinking of a different Kathy Reichs book. Okay. Kathy Reichs has written novels in the, Temperance Brennan series, which is about a forensic anthropologist, I believe, who solves all kinds of crimes and whatnot. Kind of pulp crime, mystery novels, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she's got a long list of those. And I read a little bit of one of those books just to see how her authorial voice perhaps changes when she's writing not a teenager,
Oh,
she's
wow.
Writing an adult. And it made me, in fact, appreciate more her writing and character voice within this book as well, because it's similar in some ways, but very different. There's a similar snark and jadedness within the teenage protagonist of this book that is aged up and nuanced in a way in the Temperance Brennan books that feels very, very close but still distinct. And I was like, oh, this is not a too far a cry, but the distinction in age, in maturity feels clearer.
And Virals is in the same universe as Temperance Brennan.
Yes, the main character of Virals, Tory Brennan?
Yeah.
Tory Brennan. Short for Victor. It's not established.
No, her full name is Victoria.
Short for Victoria.
Victoria Brennan.
They say it.
She's the niece or something?
Yeah, they're related somehow.
Yeah, Temperance Brennan is her aunt, but she didn't know for most of her life.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is interesting given that
they share the same name.
Well,
she's the great niece. Sorry.
Great niece. Given that the Temperance Brennan books, I think, are more straight up and down, like, crime, mystery. But the series Virals has a distinct science fictional twist to it. And
Ooh.
I imagine it must be funny thinking of both of those in the same universe. But if you think about it, it's kind of clever marketing, because if you like Virals and you like this series, that means it's probably the first series of hers you've encountered, and then you hear about all this Temperance Brennan stuff, and then as you get older, you just sort of graduate into those books, maybe. I don't know.
Quickly going back to the author, I was just checking my copy because I read it as an ebook on Libby, and on the cover of this one, which is like updated for like the new look that they have, it has like this kind of sci-fi looking wolf.
That's cool.
But it does say Kathy and Brendan.
Okay.
But on the inside front cover, it just says Kathy.
Interesting.
So part of me feels like she wrote the book, but then Brendan kind of consulted on it. And then as they wrote later series, they decided just to put both their names on future covers.
Yeah.
Just to make it clearer. But
that makes sense.
We will give credit to both of them for this book series.
Yeah. It's funny, though, because this is, I think, one of her later books. She's written a lot of, like, the Temperance Brennan ones. So some writers, especially early on, their dedications will be, to my mom and dad, to my kids, to my husband. This book is dedicated to the good people and dogs of Charleston. Thanks for welcoming me to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, you must have a lot of books at this point. If you're like, this one's to that guy I met at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. Like, in the past, when I was thinking about wanting to write books, I did think like, okay, like my first book is probably going to be dedicated to this person, and then my next book will be dedicated to this person. But I think that if I had written like 100 books, I'd be like, I don't know, I dedicate this one to my cat. Actually, my cat would probably be higher up on the list.
I dedicate this one to the spider on the wall that never bit me.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping the pests away.
Yeah, exactly. That's very fun, though. And it's clear that she did a lot of research. Like, she clearly went to Charleston and I think to this island.
Yeah, she's got a map in the book.
Yeah.
A giant map of Charleston, South Carolina.
Not only well-researched geographically and culturally, but Kathy Reichs is the real deal. She is a forensic anthropologist.
Yeah.
All her books are about forensics, and Virals feels like a badly disguised Trojan horse of, ooh, cool dog powers. But actually, that's just a thin veneer covering forensic anthropology. The kids will learn about forensic anthropology.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of, we'll get into it, but I made a note as I was reading where I was like, Part 1, murder investigation. Part 2, sick. And it was extra funny because when I was reading the section where the characters are getting sick over and over again because they contract this special virus, it coincided with you sending us a Discord message where you're like, can we postpone recording? I'm sick. And I was like, Victoria's a viral.
I wish. That'd be awesome. I wish getting sick meant that I got sick dog powers.
That'd be pretty cool.
But instead I just got a sinus infection and congestion.
Oh man, this is like when you're a kid and you know from your favorite series, you're imagining like, oh, like Percy Jackson and the Olympians. What if I'm secretly a demigod? What if I can manifest my powers? What if my summer camp is actually Camp Half-Blood? Or Star Wars, you're like, what if I just want it bad enough and I can use the Force? This is like, what if I'm not just sick with bronchitis? What if I'm actually contracting superpowers? And then at the end of it, you're like, no, I was just sick.
Ah, rats.
Dogs, more like.
Dogs,
dogs.
Well, quickly before we get into a plot summary, let me know what your vibes are. I'm really curious.
So, Michael, you and I have not read Virals before this moment for the podcast.
No, I don't think I've ever even seen Bones, the TV show.
Me neither. But, Victoria, you have a storied and, dare I say, academic history with Virals.
You really just pushed it right back to me. I was like, let me get your vibes first. And it's like, no.
Okay. I was pleasantly surprised. Reading this book's summary online, and also I had some difficulty finding it. It told me that like this isn't like a Hunger Games level, YA stardom series. And the premise is kind of like, get sick, cool dog powers, woof woof, let's go pack. And I was like, is this what's the book?
Teen Wolf.
No, what's
Twilight?
the book? What's the book series where they get wings and they're super edgy?
Maximum Ride.
Maximum Ride. Oh my God, Maximum Ride. I had low expectations, but I was pleasantly surprised because although the plot line of them getting cool dog powers is a major part of the book, it is not the biggest part of the book, which is a legitimate breaking and entering, solving mysteries, being cool, edgy teens living off the land. No, they're not living off the land. Being cool, edgy teens, doing cool, edgy teen stuff.
They live on a remote island because there's a research facility there.
Yeah.
So they're not like the other kids at school because they're more like commoners.
They're not
we'll get
rich.
into it. Yeah.
They're smart.
Yeah.
The two genres of people. But no, it's like a legit like mystery thriller with like a little sprinkling of supernatural stuff that doesn't really come into effect on the mystery until towards the end of the book. So I was, again, pleasantly surprised by how, for lack of a better term, grounded this book felt. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the science fiction elements kind of take a while to develop. And when they do, the book is, I think, more than half over, really, by the time that you
I
start seeing
actually forgot
superpowers.
that it happened so late. I was kind of like anticipating it. I was like, are they going to get sick soon? And I was like, oh, it happens a lot later.
Come on, kids, get sick faster.
Well, the book is like broken up into parts that are sort of listed kind of over the course of an infection, where it's like infection,
It was
incubation, exposure.
Yeah.
So there is like a period of just like, yeah, well, realistically, the virus has to like take effect. So there's going to be a whole part of this book where like, yeah, they're infected, but they're just kids still. They're just walking around. They don't have powers.
Exposure was not one. That's the name of a book that's later in the series, so I got confused. The parts are like islands, which is just like intro to the islands that they live on. Then it's part 2, infection. Part 3, incubation. Part 4, insight.
Part 5. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, no.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So, Victoria,
Yes.
tell us about your experience with virals.
I actually had to ask my friend yesterday to be like, were you the one who introduced me to virals? And neither of us can remember, but I'm 90% sure it's this friend who introduced me to them. I think it's because like she and her mom enjoyed Bones, the TV show. So then went to the library and happened to find virals and read it and enjoyed it. And she was like, Victoria, I think you would enjoy it too. And I really liked it, obviously, because we're talking about it on the podcast. I read books 1 through 3 for sure. Book 4, I think I might have read sometime in college, but I honestly barely remember it. And then there's a 5th book that I haven't read, but I feel like I need to at this point just to like finish out the series. Like it feels wrong to like not have read it, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish I had more information about it to like bring to this podcast, honestly, but I was like, I don't have time to read 5 books of this series. The one thing I will say is I actually think book 2 is my favorite of the series because book 2 is like the perfect blend of what I love about virals, which is like it's a treasure hunt. They're solving a mystery. They're learning cool things about history and science and finding all these clues, but they have more control over their powers. So their powers are just naturally incorporated into their mystery solving process.
Nice.
In book 1, it's like they're still figuring out how their powers can help them and they only really do it at the very end. I mean, it makes sense, obviously. Like, it wouldn't be realistic if they got these powers and like magically mastered them all in one day. In the second book, it's just so satisfying seeing them like work really well as a team and like solving the mystery, and then they like develop new tactics of like hiding their powers. There's like one very specific thing that they do starting in book 2, I believe, which is like they'll use their powers in public, but they'll wear sunglasses to hide the fact that their eyes turn gold.
Hey, it works.
And so there's always like a sequence where it's like Tori enters the party and slips on her sunglasses and then she flares and then
Sick.
yeah. It's fun. So, okay. I feel very strongly that this would be an excellent TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the problem was like Teen Wolf had already come out around this time. So there wasn't any room on the market for another show about teenagers who have wolf powers. But I think it has like a lot of potential. Like it would be perfect material for like a CW show where they could like just take the characters and the general storylines and just run with it. It's got like all the teenage drama. There's like sci-fi, like sort of supernatural stuff going on.
And you don't have to, I mean, what? Their eyes turn gold? Easy.
Yeah.
Done. You don't have to like...
They could just like run super fast.
Yeah. There's just a little bit of color correction. You do like a wolf sound effect in the background. You get like a wolf PNG to fade in and out real quick. Easy.
Now, this feels like the 90s now.
Yeah, hey, the aesthetic fits, I think.
Yeah. So basically, all this to say, in college, I took a class called Writing the Adaptation. And so our job was like, pick something that you want to adapt for this class. In the real world, in order to adapt something, you need to have like permission. The author has to have sold the rights to the studios to be like, I'll allow you guys to adapt my work into some form of media. But in this class, we didn't have those rules because we're not selling these things. We're not actually making it. But it was so fun for me to be like, what's a book series I really love that I've always wished had a TV or like a movie or TV adaptation? And then I was like, oh, virals. So I wrote like 52 pages of a script for virals.
Awesome.
I did, because I found all my outlines and stuff to bring as like a show and tell.
Wow.
If you guys
Nice.
want to see. I think like looking back, I had in mind that I wanted it to be a TV show, but I was like, I hadn't yet written TV because I took adaptation before the year that I took TV writing. So I didn't know what TV writing structure was. So I just went into it with the intention of writing a single 2-hour movie adaptation of this book, which I think it would work, but I was like really dedicated to like a really accurate adaptation. And so the structure of the story suffered for that reason. Like looking back, I'm like, this isn't an inciting incident. Probably needed to like change it or like make it more exciting in some way or like hint to the wolf stuff more. Because I just had her like discover the dog tags by page 10, which is where the inciting incident is supposed to happen. And I was like, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's the nature of writing.
Yeah.
Learning
and I also
growing.
copied a lot of dialogue, like word for word from the book. Some of the character dialogue is really funny. So I was like, I want to keep it. But, you know, that's not always the best thing to do when you adapt something. So if I were to adapt it today, which, hey, CW, if you want. No, that's
Have you
not how it
heard
works.
of Ghost
Can you
Inspector?
imagine? But I'm just putting, like, if in like 10 years they announce a Virals TV show, it's because of this podcast. No, I'm kidding. I think that if I were to write an adaptation of Virals now as an adult with more writing experience also, I think it would just be so fun to like take the core premise of Virals and not necessarily like adapt like this first book with like the exact same mystery as it goes like in this book specifically, but like obviously like keep the stuff of like how they got their powers, but like come up with like other mysteries that they solve or like other things that are, you can expand storylines. There's so many like fun characters. I will say now rereading this book at the age of 27, I have several gripes about tropes in this book, but I do find them interesting to talk about because they're like tropes that I don't necessarily agree with now, but they're just such like a hallmark of like the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book feels very dated. Not in like a, oh, this book is so old and bad, but in like a, you read the first page and you're like, this was written in the mid 2000s for sure.
Not even mid 2000s. It came out in 2010, but you know, like late 2000s, early 2010s.
It was like released on the cusp of YA rapidly becoming something different.
Exactly, right? Like that's why even though like going back, like I'm like, okay, this is like kind of cringy or like I don't really love how Tori is characterized in some ways. It's still like really fascinating to me.
Oh yeah.
As like, because I read the series really close to when it was published. I think actually when I first got into it, there were only 2 books. So it was like we can literally say like around 2011, 2012 was when I started reading these. So clearly I latched onto it for a reason because I was in that Tory Brennan mindset. which is like, I don't know what that says about me.
It says you were a teenager, probably.
Yeah, I was a teenager.
Especially because a lot of the teenagers in books like, The Hunger Games or one of the dystopian ones are very different kinds of teenager than your average American teenager.
All right, let's get into it. I think for this one, we'll talk about the plot and then jump in with thoughts as I go, if that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The structure of it does make it hard to summarize quickly.
It's because there's two plots happening at the same time.
Yeah, there's an A plot and a B plot. And actually kind of a C plot, too. The C plot is actually them getting powers.
Yeah.
The A plot is they discover, there's a mystery of this girl who got murdered. The B plot is who's doing these experiments.
Oh, yeah.
And then the C plot is we also got powers as a result of said experiments.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
And then they all come together at the end.
And very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah, so Virals is a story about a 14-year-old girl named Tori Brennan.
Tory, short for Torrance and the Machine.
No. She just moved to Loggerhead Island 6 months ago after her mom passed away. Quick clarification. The main place where the characters live is actually Morris Island, which is a real but uninhabited place in Charleston Harbor. In the book, Loggerhead Island is a much smaller island nearby, and the only thing there is the Research Institute and some wild animals. They have to travel there from Morris Island by boat. For the rest of the episode, anytime we refer to Loggerhead, unless it's in relation to the Research Institute directly, we really mean Morris Island. Sorry for the confusion. She lived with her mom for most of her life, and then her mom died in a car accident very tragically and suddenly, and then she finds out she actually has a father who works on Loggerhead Island at the Loggerhead Institute, what is it?
Of mental health. The Dogs of Nim.
The Dogs of Nim.
Or what would it be? Lim.
The Dogs of Lim.
Loggerhead Institute of Mental Health.
Yeah.
It's the Loggerhead Island Research Institute, or LERI for short.
It's a cool acronym.
Yeah, and Loggerhead Island in real life is not occupied, but in this book, there's a research facility. They have animals that they study there. It's a cool place,
Monkeys.
It is a really neat setting where she's describing these carved out settlements for the staff of the Research Institute are built out of an old Civil War fortress, basically.
Yeah, so they all live in apartment buildings that have been retrofitted from old bunkers to house the staff that work at LERI, because they're far away enough from Charleston, which is the nearest port, that they can't live on Charleston and then go to work every day. There's a ferry, and the kids go to school on the mainland, but researchers are busy. They're doing crazy stuff, so they gotta live there. Yeah.
But it's cool. Tori's house, as I recall, is kind of like a tower in a way. It's a really cool setup.
Yeah.
It stands out instantly.
Mm-hmm. So it's you get the small town vibes where everyone on this island knows each other. The kids can just kind of go wherever they want because the adults are busy working. There's not really any other governing body on the island. There's no police force.
A perfect setup
Yeah.
for the kids are going to run around now and break laws.
Yeah.
Take their boat and drive it up this island coast.
Yeah. So we meet her friends. We got Hi, who is...
Short for Hiram?
Yeah, Hiram Stolowiski. He's kind of the comedic relief of the group. Again, we're talking about YA books, so that each of these characters has a trope. So he's the funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Shelton.
So I was thinking... Hiram's viral transformation is he poops a lot.
Yeah. They all end up getting different
symptoms.
Yeah. And Hiram, I think, has the worst of it because every time they check in with him, he's like, I have been on the can all day.
Yeah. He's having a rough time. He goes by Hi, which is confusing in
when reading
conversation and in reading. But yeah, he's the comic relief of the group. Then there's Shelton, who is...
the guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair. He's
Kinda.
the nerd and mechanic and just
picker.
general gadget-y guy. But then Hi also sometimes does some gadget stuff. So they have a little bit of overlap. Hi isn't just there to say funny jokes. But Hi is probably one of my favorite characters because he makes a lot of Lord of the Rings references in book 2. I thought he did them in this book, but he didn't.
He hadn't seen the movies yet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Shelton, and then Ben, who's the tall, dark, and handsome guy, and he has a boat. He's like a boat guy.
And a kind of stoic.
Yeah, he's like very stoic. He doesn't show emotion very often. He saved up to buy his own boat. His dad drives the ferry, and so that's just their way
I think
of life.
that's adorable. His dad drives a ferry, and Ben's like, I'm going to be just like him.
Yeah.
Get me a second, smaller boat.
Yeah, so he saves up to buy this little boat that allows them to traverse between islands very easily.
It's called the Seaweed.
Yeah.
Which is very cute.
Yeah, and it frequently breaks down.
Any mystery-solving machine needs to break down.
Yeah, it's true.
Any transportation.
Yeah. So those are her friends. And you get the sense, like, they're all really close, but mainly because they have no one else to hang out with.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
obviously,
isolated.
like, the three boys are closer because they've known each other for longer. But then Tori's only recently joined in the last 6 months. And so you still get, like, a little bit of a sense of, like, they're not super used to having a girl in their group, or, like, they're not used to, like, this new group dynamic quite yet.
Yeah.
And this is, like, again, something that will develop in further books. Yeah.
And Tori, short for Tyrannosaurus Rex, is super edgy. She's so edgy.
She's got this level of, like, ironic snark.
Yeah, and honestly,
that feels characteristic of certain characters I've read, but not characters I've read in a long time.
yeah, it's a very specific brand of, like, my world is dangerous. You don't want to be a part of my world. I'm not like other kids. Other kids are rich and gross.
Okay, so like
Not that I particularly care.
I'm just
kind
gonna
of.
jump right into it, but Tori is very much the standard 2010s not like other girls trope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where
It's not insufferable.
it's not insufferable, but it's very
not
like
overclocked.
it's very direct in terms of, like, she has no female friends. Anytime she encounters, like, another girl, she always thinks kind of poorly of them, honestly. Like, she thinks they're, like, vapid or shallow or snarky.
Yeah.
And there's only, like, a couple girls that she likes, but even then she's just like, oh, like, they're so beautiful and, like, I could never be them.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And then they try to kill her.
Yeah. But
Turns out she was right.
part of it is because, like, the kids all go to this, like, rich private school on the mainland because, like, as part of working at Leary, their parents get, like, free tuition to this school. So, like, they're already outsiders because they're, like, quote unquote the charity cases of the school. And so there's, like, classic high school bullying that happens. But then there's also stuff like Tori skipped a grade. So she's 14, but she's, like, a sophomore in high school. So she's already, like, smaller and, like, still kind of a kid compared to all these, like, high schoolers. So they bully her for that. She, like, runs around in the dirt or whatever. So they're like, oh, you're gross.
It is kind of funny, though, because at school, she does seem to be on good standing with the people who are described as, like, some of the most well-regarded.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing. It's like she's not like other girls, but she still has to, like, be part of several love triangles.
Yeah. It's like a love prism. You look at it and there's a lot of shapes moving around.
It's like Tori
It
is
kind
like,
of works for me, though, is the thing.
I mean, it works
Because
but
she
it-
has a distinct opinion on everyone. Like,
Yeah.
there is Ben, who's the obvious, like, this is our long term. But Ben is stoic,
Yeah.
and whatever feelings he has for her are similarly, like...
Ben just shows up and is, like, angry anytime she talks to another boy.
And she's, you know, wrapped up in herself enough, understandably, that she's just kind of not
Yeah.
clocking. But, like, then there's Jason, who's, like, captain of the lacrosse team,
Mm-hmm.
who's popular, rich, and seems to like her, but she's like, I don't really like him that way.
She likes him as a friend. He's, like, a genuinely good guy.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of knows that, like, he flirts with her, and she's like, I don't like you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there is
Chance
Claybourne.
who's, like, the richest kid on the block.
And,
And
he's
she's-
cool, and he's hot, and he's evil, and he's dumb.
And he already
he's
has
cool.
a girlfriend.
And he already has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So she is, like, of two minds where it's like, oh my gosh, he's very hot. But at the same time, I shouldn't think about that.
And it resolves itself.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. He's in a coma.
Okay, we're jumping away. Okay, so that's, like, our cast of main characters that are important to know. I'll introduce some of the other ancillary characters as we go. Every day, like, after school, Tori and her friends just kind of like do whatever they want.
Bum around in the wilderness.
Yeah, so on this particular day, they're like, let's go to like the main island where the research facility is because there's some Wolfdogs that live on the island and she wants to go try and find them.
She does have like a connection to one of the like Wolfdog puppies.
Yes, and specifically that day that they go, that Wolfdog, whose name is Cooper, he's been missing.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like, let's go find the pack. Like, let's see if we can get an idea of like what happened to Cooper. The reason why she has this connection with him is when he was a puppy, he like fell into a ditch.
Basically.
And she was the one who rescued him because like the wolves couldn't get to him. And ever since then, she's had like a special connection with him. But they go and they can't find the Wolfdogs, but they do get attacked by monkeys. And then one of the monkeys throws a dog tag at Tori. And she's like, what the heck's this? But she's just like naturally curious. So she like wants to try and figure out what's on this dog tag. Who did the dog tag belong to? Why was it on this island? Tori tries to use some tools that her great aunt Temperance gave her to excavate the dog tag. And she manages to get like most of the dirt off, but realizes like there's some really like baked in dirt that she can't get and she doesn't want to like damage the dog tag. So she has this idea that's like, oh, Leary has a sonicator. Let's go to Leary and use that. But of course, they're technically not supposed to. So then it's just like hijinks to like get to the sonicator, which includes like breaking into a building because it's been locked down. And they have this whole thing where it's like, oh, Ben's dad like knows that like the security cameras are down in this building today. So we can easily like break it. It's like we got to distract the guards, like your classic heist stuff. And it's all like so they can go use a sonicator to like get dirt off a dog tag, which is kind of funny.
I think it's sick as hell.
It's awesome.
You know, you're a kid, you committed a little felony, you know.
And they're fully aware that they're committing multiple felonies throughout the book. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
This is a
we will go
crime.
to jail. Let's do it.
Yeah. But they get in, they use the sonicator. While they're there, though, they hear howling from a dog. And then Ben runs over and he's like, you guys should check this out. And they find Cooper and he's locked up in a cage. He's very sick. There's some sort of like weird experiment going on here and they have no idea what's going on. But they're like, let's just rescue him and figure it out later.
It's in this abandoned.
Yeah.
It's like foreclosed. So there shouldn't be anything going on here anyway.
And Tori sees a sign that says like he has parvovirus. So she's like, oh, like parvovirus is a virus that can only affect dogs. And so she's like, it's perfectly safe to like take him out, but we can't return him back to his pack until he's better because we don't want to infect the other dogs. So let's just grab him. We'll take him to our secret bunker and we'll nurse him there until he hopefully turns around. So they get the dog off the island. Immediately, the director of Leary, whose name is Dr. Karsten, he's like, someone broke into Leary over like this day. It was like a Saturday. And like,
he's like, elite operatives have stolen my secret project. How did they know? How did they get past my locked doors?
He's like so baffled. Yeah, we get like most of the book is like from Tori's perspective, but there's like a couple chapters that are from mysterious people. And then also we get like Karsten's point of view, which it turns out he was the one experimenting on this dog. But this virus was no ordinary parvovirus. It could actually potentially be infectious to humans. Ooh, wonder what that's going to be about.
I'm
it's
sure
totally
it's
not in the title of the book. Most of the book after that, for a while, is just them continuing to hunt down this mystery of the dog tag. They find out the dog tag says Francis P. Heaton. They realize this is probably someone who fought in Vietnam. And so that gives them a time period. They go to the library. They search documents for this name. They end up finding out that Francis had a daughter named Catherine who disappeared mysteriously, like a decade ago. Over a decade. I can't remember how long it was.
In 1969.
A long time ago.
Who disappeared last week.
So it's like it's been a cold case. The police never found her body, never figured out what happened to her. So Tori's like, this is our chance. We got to keep following this lead. And then Tori astral projects onto Loggerhead and finds out where the body is.
Wait, what?
Okay, there's a sequence.
I don't remember that.
So most of the powers that happen in this book are like mostly after they get infected and gain dog powers. But occasionally Tori will have like sort of prophetic dreams. So she has one early on in the book where she has a dream that she's on Loggerhead and she's remembering like the clearing where they were attacked by monkeys. The only way I can describe it is she astral projects there because she's like, and I was looking at the clearing and then I like cleared the clouds so that I could like see better or something.
The way I interpreted it is that Tori, short for tornado warning, is one of those dreams where you can control everything. Move around.
She's lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
And so she's remembering the scene and using the lucid dream to like investigate her own memories.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like the fact that she has such clear detail of what the clearing looks like. It's just like, maybe she has a photographic memory. I don't know.
And then she uses Google Maps to confirm her theory. So she's not going back completely on her psychic hunch. She did see like an image of the place.
Yeah, that's true. It's just like every time I read it, it's just so funny to me because she's like, and then I had this dream where I was on Loggerhead. There's something I needed to find. It's just like, okay. Anyway, so they find out that there's probably a spot in that clearing, which based on
forensic anthropology.
Yes, forensic anthropology. There's probably a body buried there. So they go and they dig up a body and they're like, holy crap. There's a skull, a human skull with a bullet through it. Pretty clear sign of a murder.
It's a skeleton. It's really well written, that part. I actually got pretty like, I mean, I wasn't traumatized, but I got pretty creeped out when she describes like they're digging in the dirt, they're not finding anything. She takes a while with the trowel or whatever, or like I think a larger shovel, and describes like seeing this dark spot in the dirt. And as she digs into it more, the dark spot grows bigger.
Yeah, because like changes in dirt can indicate human body decomposition.
And it's just like, that particular, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's good
uncovers
stuff. There's a lot of
bones.
like good anticipation building of like, are they going to find something? And of course they do, but then immediately they're surrounded by men with guns.
Well, not immediately. Oh. They take the whole chapter to do more forensic anthropology and describe how you can identify sex and age and all this other neat stuff. Yeah. And hold on, don't call the cops yet. We have to exhume the entire body so I can quickly explain about the composition. And then the men with guns come.
The men with guns are at the edge of the field going, wait, this is interesting.
But hold on.
Yeah, but it makes sense because like Tori's like, we gotta like make sure we are sure that this is Catherine Heaton because it'd be really embarrassing if we called the cops and it was just like
some
other dead murdered person.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, it'd still probably be a good find, but
who cares?
Yeah, so
Mr. Police Officer, I'm sorry. This isn't Catherine Heaton. This is some other dead guy.
Forget about it. It's not important. So they like intentionally take a lot of pictures of everything so that they can like preserve the evidence. But then, yes, they get attacked by men with guns and they get chased out of the forest and onto the boat and they run away. And the next morning they go and tell their parents like, oh my God, like last night we were on the island and then we like got shot at and we found a dead body. And their parents are like, what the heck? Also, Hai drops his phone during the escape, which is why they don't even have any photographic evidence to show the police. So their parents...
They just go straight to the police?
Yeah, they contact the police, and then the police go with them to the island, and it's really embarrassing because the bones that they found are now monkey bones. Tori's father, Kit, is very suspicious because he's like, I know that you know what human bones look like. But he thinks that she's kind of like acting out. She's grieving her mother. She's having a hard time like transitioning to life in Charleston and on Loggerhead Island. She doesn't like his girlfriend. Like,
Who
just
is
like
the funniest character. I love Whitney. Okay, quick aside for Whitney, because this is not relevant to the plot at all.
Yeah.
But at one point, Tori, short for tore my ACL, is sick. And Whitney's diagnosis is she's sick because she hasn't participated in enough womanly activities. If she goes to the ball, if she goes to cotillion, which is a thing in the South that I've been to, she'll
It's
be
a thing
cured.
around here, honestly.
It's a thing around here?
Okay.
Well, it was when I was in K through 8.
Okay.
I knew kids that would go to cotillion, and I would ask my parents, what's cotillion? And they're like, well, they just sort of teach you, like, manners and, like, party etiquette. They're like, we didn't think, like, do you want to go to Cotillion? I'm like, that sounds boring.
This version of Cotillion, which the version I went to Cotillion was way different, is like so much cooler than my Cotillion, which was like, to eat the melon ball, use the small left spoon, pick it up without your pinky, and rotate 90 degrees. And I was like, who eats like this? Anyway, Whitney's diagnosis is if you just do more womanly activities, you'll feel better.
Well, okay, so Whitney's whole thing is that she thinks, she's like, oh my gosh, like my boyfriend has a daughter. Perfect. Like I can like introduce her to society. She can become a debutante. And Tori like wants nothing to do with it. But like Whitney's very persistent. She's like, I asked my friend and she said that we can introduce you into society like half a season earlier. And Tori's like, I really don't want to.
Whitney is from the 1800s and she's awesome.
Whitney hates that Tori spends all of her time with boys. It's very funny. Yeah. But it does become plot relevant later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So like Kit knows like Tori's having a hard transition. It's also a transition for him. Like he didn't know he had a daughter for like 14 years. And suddenly he has a teenage girl living in his house and he's trying to awkwardly like do the father thing where he's like, how was your day? And she's like, it was fine. And he's like,
cool.
Good talk. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting cornflakes at the store.
Yeah, again, so much amazing potential for a TV show to explore that relationship.
Also, Kit needs to be played by Kit Harington.
Oh,
I kept imagining
yeah.
him just because of the name. Just like the most like bedraggled looking like British man.
Just put him in the Jon Snow outfit. No explanation.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so Kit thinks that Tori might be lying or making up a story, or maybe not necessarily like he doesn't believe her, but he's like, maybe you thought you saw something and then like just like the stress of life kind of like clouded your judgment. And so the kids decide, okay, the adults aren't going to believe us because someone obviously like took the bones and like took away all key evidence and they're after us with guns. So let's keep this to ourselves. They feign innocence. They're just like, oh yeah, it was our fault. We actually like made a mistake.
It's a really kind of interesting period where they all very diligently plan how to pretend in an interview with the cops.
It would be an awesome montage scene for a TV show or a movie.
Yeah, just like how they feign innocence and
it's
how
really cool.
Yeah.
They go into like, we have to have all the same story, but it can't be too detailed because then it'll be obvious that we made it up and that we all corroborated like the same story. Karsten interviews them because he suspects that they broke into the facility. So they come up with like a separate story about that, about what they were doing that day as an alibi. They have like small details like, oh, like Ben tripped and like destroyed his shirt. So he had to go get another one from a gift shop. But then Ben is the one who like actually has the detail about what was on the shirt. So that way like there's no chance of them like contradicting each other. But there's still like enough detail that it's like, okay, like it's reasonable that you guys were obviously like hanging out that day and that probably happened. So it's a very fun sequence.
Yeah, but it doesn't work because Karsten already knows. He's 100% sure that Tour, short for Taylor Swift's Eras World Tour. Tory, short for... Anyway. He's 100% convinced that Tori stole the dog. But he breaks like...
He totally crashes out in her interview. And he's like, I know you did.
He's like, he sends the guard out. And he's like, I'll get you myself.
Yeah.
And then Kit Harington's like, you gotta stop, man.
Okay, around this time, Cooper starts getting better. However, the kids then start developing symptoms. Oh, also during that interview with Karsten, he kept being like, are you guys sick? Have you guys been sick?
Yeah.
And they're like, why did he keep asking us if we've been sick? But then, of course, like a week later, they all get sick. And it's like, it's really bad. Like they get hot flashes and nausea and fever. And it's like a kind of a mix for everyone. But then Tori starts getting like extra weird symptoms where suddenly she'll like, something will snap in her brain and she'll feel really good. Adrenaline will like course through her veins and then she can like see really far or like hear really well or like
moisturized in her lane, driving, positive self-image.
It's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I'm becoming Spider-Man sequence. I can see the flies on the wall and I can hear the raindrops.
That's true. That is the perfect comparison.
And they're all doing that except Hiram is on the toilet the whole time.
Hiram just Yeah.
Well, because I think it's like each of them got like one particular scent like most heightened. So like
one particular sense.
So High gets like
not
his sense of smell is heightened, so everything makes him nauseous. So he's just constantly throwing up or having like stomach issues. He's really going through it. Ben gets like the most delayed reaction. It like hits him the latest, but then all of a sudden he's like, oh my God. I like suddenly could like lift things.
Super strength.
Yeah, I'm like super strong. So Tori kind of connects the dots and is like, okay, Karsten was asking us if we're sick. I was doing research about parvovirus because Cooper was sick. And then I learned about other parvovirus strains that can affect humans. There's one specific one called B19 that can affect humans. And then she remembers the sign. And it actually said XB19, I believe, which means that it was a cross between canine parvovirus and the human parvovirus, which means they caught it. And so Tori's like, I think we all gained somehow special powers. And then also she starts like kind of telepathically connecting with Cooper. She's like, I think Cooper talked to me.
That is frankly the most, okay, so it's like, oh, Ben, I'm extra strong.
Yeah.
I'm Hiram. I can smell pretty good. We all can hear pretty well. And then Tori's like, yeah, I got that stuff too. I can also understand dogs, and I can speak to you in your mind.
You like dogs do.
And by the end of the book,
wolves.
I can forcibly turn on all of your superpowers, which, I'll be real, that was a sick reveal.
Yeah.
When that happened, I was like, this is sick.
Yeah. Because they can't control it, right? Like it just like happens randomly throughout the day. And they have like a rough week where like they're at school and then it happens and they keep wanting to like eat raw meat or like eat animals. Tori will be in class and they'll be like doing a little experiment, like observing a gerbil, and then suddenly she like tries to kill the gerbil.
Snack.
Yeah.
The sequence in the cafeteria where the three boys just start like disassembling a chicken.
And Tori's like, I gotta do something. Someone's gonna see them like literally like
rolling around in this chicken carcass.
Yeah. And we're gonna be even more outcast than we were before, and then so she pulls the fire alarm.
Honestly, smart move.
Yeah. And because their hearing is also enhanced, like the loudness of the alarm shocks them out of the flare.
Dog mode.
Dog mode.
But it's called a flare.
They decide to call it flaring. Then Karsten shows up at their bunker and he's like, I knew it, you have the dog. At this point, they're just like, tell us everything, man. So Karsten tells them everything. He's like, someone hired me to create a cure for parvovirus. Well, they know who hired him. It was Candela Pharmaceuticals. A pharmaceutical company hired Karsten to develop a cure for parvovirus, which would allow them to basically like monopolize the market on vaccines for dogs. And it's like one of those things where it's like, yay, it's like a great thing that we like cured dogs of parvovirus, but
and
one
we'll
company
make
makes
heaps of
all
money,
the money. Yeah. But then they're like, okay, so why did you send men with guns out to kill us? And Carson's like, I didn't do that. What the heck? He like helps them kind of like figure out their powers a little bit. And he's like, I speculate that it's like triggered by stress because your limbic system triggers like adrenaline. And so similarly, like I think like your DNA got altered by this virus. So now when you get stressed, it also triggers dog powers.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, good to know.
It is a very interesting at this point, this like heel face turn where he's like, I'm like a unethical kind of guy, but I never wanted people to get hurt by this. And he's like, and you believe it when he says where he's like, I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to figure out a way to fix this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, Carson's honestly I know I said Whitney's my favorite character. Carson is fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He's unethical and he's sort of like a power freak. And, you know, he likes yelling at kids. But at the end of the day, he is a scientist and he wants to make the world better. And he's also really, really fascinated by this like new thing that's happening in front of him.
Yeah.
And so his heel turn, and also he like knew Catherine Heaton.
There's like an implication that maybe there was something of like a romantic relationship, or like he at least had like a crush on her or something.
Yeah.
I actually misremembered
It's a little
this.
funny in a way, just because they have to clarify that, like, he had no part in what happened to Catherine Heaton. And he's like, no, I knew Catherine in hye school.
And I was devastated when she died.
Well, he's like, she was a fellow lover of science.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back about the potential romantic feelings. I think I misremembered. I think I'm confusing stuff that happens in other books.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he's glossing over some
the CW show would add
teenage details.
Yeah.
We'll never know now. No, but he's so fascinating to me because this heel turn, he's not like good now. He's still bad, but he is more complicated. And so his last moments are him like now we understand him more.
Yeah.
And he also, like, he's not implicated in a lot of
Before
things.
he's almost like comically evil. Where he's like, they broke in. How could they possibly have done this?
These darn kids.
Yeah, and then when you actually talk to him, he's just like, yeah, I just wanted to try and like cure the world of dog cancer. Like,
I wanted to help, but I did also want to get
money.
rich doing it. And I thought I could just do both without it being like...
But I think he also has like sort of the mad scientist perspective of like, I just really wanted to study this area.
Yeah.
And then if someone's going to fund that research, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So he is a lot more complicated than you initially believe.
And we learn all of this just in time for him to die.
Yeah. R.I.P. Karsten. The men in guns show up and they kill him. But the virals get away. Oh, yeah. They call themselves virals now.
Yeah.
They arrive at that name pretty quick.
You know, there's no time for debate, Michael. The men with guns are here.
Yeah. So they escape, and now they're like, okay, Karsten's dead. This is really, really bad. What do we do? So they're like, well, we have no choice but to try and figure out what happened to Catherine and try and just expose this whole thing.
Yeah. They're like, we're in it now.
Yeah.
They want to kill us.
Yeah.
They do some hijinks.
Well,
Yeah,
first,
they do more like sneaking in.
Tori fails a book report.
Yeah.
I think.
Tori fails one class project, and the teacher's like, I'm so disappointed. And even Jason is like so confused, but he's like, dude, it's like fine.
She's in a group with Jason and Hannah,
who's Chance's girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hannah's so nice and would never kill anyone.
And we know that Chance Claybourne's dad, Hollis Claybourne specifically,
He's rich.
He's just like a rich
He's on the board
businessman.
of what's it?
Candela.
Yeah.
Candela Pharmaceuticals.
He's on the board. So he is definitely related. And as they investigate, like half of them go back to the library and escape from the men with guns.
Yeah.
Half of them sneak into the Claybourne's estates.
Yeah.
And like rifle through their papers and try to gather information. And so like through building evidence, they manage to piece all the web of conspiracy together.
Yeah, they also managed to get in contact with someone who knew Catherine, her friend Abby, and it turns out right before Catherine died, they were doing a research project for class. And Abby's like, oh, Catherine like discovered something. And they're like, that must be it. Like she must have been killed for her discovery. And so they find her journal in the lighthouse tower.
And a pretty gross sequence.
And a really gross sequence.
Really gross, but also really cool because this lighthouse, you know, like half a century's passed.
Yeah.
And it was like already kind of defunct when Catherine investigated it. So the way they describe it, I think, is basically like this like solitary, it's surrounded by like ocean at this point, completely disused, messy lighthouse that's like replete with seagulls and everything.
Yeah.
And yet it's this mysterious kind of, not really dungeon delve, but because you're going up, but
Dungeon ascent?
Dungeon ascent.
Yeah.
Through this old lighthouse.
And Tori uses her sense of smell to find the journal. And they do manage to find it, but a lot of it has been weathered away by time.
And poop.
Yeah.
And so the only things they managed to find out are like she found some eagles on Coal Island. And then by doing their own research, they figure out that Coal Island was sold to Candela Pharmaceuticals very shortly after Catherine died.
Mm-hmm.
And so they realized they didn't want people to find out that there were bald eagles on this island because that would become like a huge press thing because like bald eagles are endangered and they wouldn't be able to sell the island because like
there'd be no development opportunities.
Yeah, you can't develop anything. And so they killed her, which is like crazy for someone to die over finding out there are eagles on an island, but sure. Rich people be devious.
A plot thread like this would have seemed more far-fetched to me
That's true, yeah.
A number of years ago. And then the more time goes on, the more I'm like,
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, they figure out, okay, the Claybournes owned Coal Island and then sold it to them. So obviously, they must have killed her. Like, who else would have had the resources or the motivation to do that?
The Claybourne sold the island to Candela and then immediately took over Candela's board.
Yeah.
So it's like the meme of Obama putting a medal on himself. I sell it to me and then I get the money.
Yeah. They sneak into the mansion and they find a closet that has like all the evidence basically except for the bones.
Yeah, it's like Hollis Claybourne has, what does he have exactly?
It's almost like a trophy case. And he has the dog tags. He has the deed of like the
whatever
sale.
The paperwork
The paperwork of the sale of Coal Island to Candela.
A fingerprint.
Oh,
right, because Tori has a fingerprint that she found.
Yeah.
Right.
That she had Chance run for her because she's like, well, Chance has resources. And he lied to her because he was like, obviously, I'm not going to tell you that it was my chauffeur who, quote unquote, stole your laptop, because she comes up with this cover story that's like, we found this fingerprint because my laptop got stolen. So, yes, they find all the evidence that's not only like evidence that they didn't have before, but evidence that got taken from them.
Oh, and don't they find a photo?
Yes, they find a photo of
young Hollis.
Yes.
On the island
with
pointing
eagles.
at bald eagles.
So it's like he fully knew. Yeah.
That meme of the guy in the front, big mouth pointing back, eagles in the background.
Yeah. And it does feel like a very like, oh, it's so like convenient that all this evidence is here and like the most convenient incriminating photo. But Tori's like, yeah, of course, like he would like gloat in his victory and being like, haha, I secure. Like he would be so gleeful over getting away with it that he'd be like, I'm going to keep all of this just to like look at and like remind myself how devious and like well planned this was or whatever.
He's a monster.
It's a monster.
Yeah. Chance finds her there and he's like, get out. It turns out like he was one of the men with guns. Like he actually showed up on the island to like shoot at the kids like when they found the body. And so he was the one who like got the body off the island. So he's been like trying to just like protect his dad from his reputation being tarnished. Because Chance is basically like, if my dad loses his reputation, then we lose our whole mansion, everything, and I don't want to lose my inheritance.
He's
and like the
also
Claybourne Manor has like been in the
character.
family for like generations, so like he's really like tied to this manor. Sorry, continue.
Well, he's also an interesting character where in some ways it's, well, not quite a foil to Karsten, but it's like the other side of the coin where he's been totally like manipulated. I have no doubt abused by his dad in various ways. But like he's like, yeah, I was with the men with guns, but we weren't there to kill you. We were just supposed to like fire our guns into the air
and like scare
you off and then just like cover up the evidence. And like, I'm not trying to hurt anyone.
Yeah, because then Tori's like, what about those other people who tried to kill us? And he's like, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, but at the same time, when push comes to shove, he's like, but I want my house and I want my riches. And okay, so some teenager died like in the 60s. Whatever. It doesn't have to mean anything now. And it's like...
Yeah, and he's like, I don't want to have to pay for my father's mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to keep together his worldview with scotch tape.
Desperately. Oh, yeah, for sure. So he basically like kicks Tori out of the mansion and he keeps all the evidence. So they have to do another heist into the mansion where this time all four of them go in and they have like a plan. They're like, this is what we're going to do. And they manage to get all the evidence. They've like created a diversion so that his dad won't be home for a while. So the mansion will be empty. And they use this app called iFollow, which everyone at their school uses, which basically like GPS tracks everyone's location.
Hollis specifically sees Tori leaving the first time.
Oh, right.
And he's like, these kids gotta die, but I can't be in the area when it happens. I need an alibi.
Yeah.
So he calls Chance and is like, you have to kill those kids, son. I'm gonna be
Well, he calls someone.
No, he specifically
he call Chance? I forgot. Okay.
But someone else overhears the phone call and takes the initiative.
I see.
But then he's like, I need you to kill these kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the Capitol, so I have an alibi.
Yeah.
Throwing your son under the bus. That's crazy.
What was the time that they called That was with Karsten. Sorry, I'm like confusing different heists because they have so many heists.
They have so many heists.
There was one instance where like they called, I think it was Karsten. They were like,
You need it
Dr. Karsten, you're needed on the mainland. And he was like, okay. So he like went and then there was nothing there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was the aquarium. Anyways, there's so many plot threads. Really, the most important thing is at the very end, they find the bones in the cellar. And so they're trying to like get the bones out so that they can take all their evidence to the police. And then Chance shows up again, this time with a gun. And he's like, I'm not going to let you leave. I can't let you do this. But then he eventually is like, who am I kidding? Like, I'm not going to kill 4 people. And then they hear his girlfriend, Hannah, come home. And they're like, Hannah, like, we're over here.
Oh,
and
she comes from upstairs.
Yeah.
She's in her friggin' PJs.
And right.
And they're like, I wonder if her parents know that she's here.
And Chance is terrified because he's like, I don't want Hannah to like know about all this. But they're like, Hannah, get over here. And she comes down. She's like, what's going on? No, Chance, give me the gun. And then she's like, you're all going to die.
She's like, get some shovels, dear, so we can bury the bodies more efficiently.
So it turns out Hannah's been working more directly with Chance's dad than he knows because she basically like,
She wants to inherit the fortune.
She wants to inherit the fortune. She's like, I don't want anything to jeopardize my future with Chance. Like, we're going to get married. I'm going to get all this money and power and influence. And I'm not going to let these 4 kids get in my way. And so she's like, I'm going to kill you guys. And so then Tori forces the rest of the virals to flare. And they all like have this crazy fight in the cellar. And luckily they win.
Yeah.
Tori, short for Torrent the Owl House, takes out Hannah using one of
Catherine Heaton's femurs.
Yeah, which is metal and grotesque and also like almost poetic justice, except Hannah wasn't there in 1969.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I was more like, I hope these bones don't shatter.
And Chance, in response to his worldview shattering, his mind also shatters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Hannah accidentally does shoot him.
Yeah, that helps too.
Yeah, that helps too.
Like in one fell swoop, he not only like found out that his girlfriend doesn't really love him for him and more loves his family.
Yeah, she holds him at gunpoint at a certain moment and like basically tells him at gunpoint, we are going to get married, which is not a great way to start a relationship.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to continue this relationship. Like if that's how you feel, like we are not going to continue this relationship. And she's like, it's not your choice.
Listen, dear, if you would like to murder 4 of our classmates, I'm afraid I'll have to break up with you.
She also like really insults him. Like she's like, you're a coward and like you can't do this. Like I'm going to have to do all this myself, etc. So
Hannah's metal.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass twist, not gonna lie.
It's also fun because you have this the thing that's been a long-running dynamic in the plot is Chance being able to kind of fluster Tori a bit.
Yeah. And like, he's been doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to like distract her from suspecting him and his family.
Which of course doesn't work.
Yeah.
And by the end, Hannah even calls him out on it and is basically like, you thought you could like
flirt
deal
with other
with her
girls
by just flirting with her, by just trying to fluster. Clearly this didn't work because now we're all in your cellar.
Yeah.
And I'm holding a gun to them. It's a fun bait and switch where Chance is thoroughly like made quite pathetic by the end, just in time for Hannah to take over as like a twist villain.
We'll get back to Chance a little bit in a second, but I just want to wrap up this plot summary, which is at the very end, they initially try to return Cooper back to his family, and then he talks to his mom, and he's like, Mom.
Arf.
Yeah. He's like, Mom, I want to stay with them. And so Cooper returns, and then Tori's just like, my dad's just going to have to deal with me having a dog.
The ending to this book is fascinating because it's wrapped up in like a handful of pages. Most of it is the dog returning, which is very cute. Yeah, sure. They got to have the dog.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is basically a quick play-by-play by High and just like one long series of unbroken dialogue going, oh, while you were knocked out, this happened and this happened and this happened and we're
Hannah
fine.
confessed to everything. They arrested Hollis, blah, 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 blah. It's like, great.
Yeah, it was fast and convenient, but I mean, I get it at that point. You got to wrap up the plot.
Yeah.
Also, apropos of nothing, the fact that the Wolfdog family is one massive adult female wolf and a regular German shepherd. it's like, oh, a wolf pack, a giant wolf. And
dog.
Oh. What's up? I just think the size disparity is fun.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about Chance?
Yeah. I just wanted to quickly say this is not the last we see of Chance Claybourne.
Really?
Yeah. He comes back.
Does he have a bionic arm when he comes back?
No.
Dang.
But
does he have a bionic brain when he comes back? Because his brain's also messed up.
So, slight spoilers for one of the other books. I don't even remember when this happens. I think it's book 3 or 4. He comes back.
Quick, hit pause and read all of Virals before you listen to the rest.
Chance makes a reappearance, and he basically says, like, I can't super remember the details, but it really comes down to, like, he says that the main reason he went catatonic was because he saw their eyes turn gold and he saw their superhuman abilities, and that broke his brain.
Oh.
And so he returns with, like, an obsession.
That's kind of fair.
About
honestly.
the Virals and wants to, like, get their powers for himself or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then he returns as, again, a conflicting love interest for Tori.
At this point?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I think, because I briefly read some, like, Goodreads reviews for book 5, which is the last one. Who Tori ends up with or whatever isn't fully resolved until book 5.
How anyone...
Which is, like, kind of crazy.
I mean, I only have one book for perspective, but how anyone could vouch for Chance.
He's just so hot.
That's not enough.
No, it's really not. It's like...
It's not even like hot enemies to lovers. It's like this guy is so pathetic and selfish.
The problem was at the end of Virals 1, even Tori is like, well, like, Chance wasn't fully aware of, like, what his dad and his girlfriend were up to. Like, he doesn't get as bad of a sentence because he kind of, like, manages to play it off as, like, I didn't know, I wasn't fully aware. So he got, like, a lighter sentence. And so when he comes back, he's just able to, like, be like, aha,
But he aimed a gun at her twice.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember what happens in the other books. I have never liked
with
Chance,
a book's
so.
length of time, maybe they can, they can do stuff where they
sure
muddy the waters.
I'm sure they, like, find some way for it to be justified.
I'm sure he demonstrates through action,
yeah.
like, some kind of commitment to them or to her or something, which makes her go, oh, well, maybe he's redeemable. I don't know.
I just personally, like, never... Even in book 1, like, before you knew Chance was bad, I was like, what do you like about this guy?
He's tall, he's rich.
Big. He's big and he's rich.
How old is Chance?
He's like 16. They're all around the same age. Like, they're all in the same... Actually, I think he might just be 15. Because they're all in the same grade, and Tori's 1 year younger than everyone.
It's so funny in some ways when you're reading books like these, like the YA stuff, and part of it I think is because a lot of, like, teen media, uses people that are like 30 to
That's
portray
true, yeah,
teens. So in your head, you'll have this, like, vision of these, like, TV actors and stuff. But then when you, like, actually, like, divorce that in your mind, you're like, oh, this is just some 14-year-old kid, and she's talking to this guy who's described as, like, big and handsome and, like, mysterious, and he's 15. And you're like, okay, hold on.
All right.
I guess it's true, like, when you are 14, your crushes are pretty surface level. I definitely think if there was a CW show, they would age them up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately.
But in future books, Tori gets more involved in, like, the debutante stuff. Like, Whitney kind of, like, pulls her into it more. And she just kind of does it out of sort of obligation. But I think there's a part of her that also is, like, intrigued by that life.
Sure. Well, it's a, it's a great narrative opportunity. So she can enter, like, galas and stuff, I'm sure.
It's very fun. But she doesn't get a female friend until book 4.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Does she get more female friends? It takes her 4 books?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, sometimes it happens.
I mean, kids. But I think you're right, Victoria. How this book examines, like, feminine relationships and, like, what it means to be feminine is really interesting.
Yeah.
In a way that I can't speak about. But I can tell that there are some tropes that if pushed too far could maybe be unsteady.
Yeah, like there's a lot of it that obviously like spoke to me as a kid. The example I'll use is like when I was a teenager, like preteen teenager, I was like, I don't like wearing dresses or like wearing anything like quote unquote girly. And maybe because of books like this, I like really prided myself in a way of like being more of a tomboy.
Sure. And I don't think that that's even like a...
It's like not like a bad thing.
Well, I was even going to say like an uncommon experience.
Yeah. But I think I just like then like developed like a really weird like perception of like if I even do suddenly like want to wear a dress, then like I'm like betraying like, who I am.
And again, I don't even think that's an uncommon experience.
But part of
either.
it was because I never wore dresses, and then like the one time that I wore one, I felt like I got like so much attention that I was like, this is weird. Like everyone would be like, oh, you're wearing a dress. Like that's crazy. And I was like, I'm just trying. Like when you're a teenager, like you're just trying to figure out like who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And then like you try something slightly different and then like you just feel so like out of body because like everyone is like, oh, look, you did something different. That's so weird. And you're like, I guess I shouldn't do this anymore. So like there are definitely like aspects to Tori's character that are obviously very relatable. It's just like kind of a shame that she doesn't develop female friendships until like a much later in the series. Because like it just feels like a lot of like the women she encounters are very like one note. Yeah.
There's a big difference between like writing a character. Like this character gels better with the male characters in the story than the female characters versus this character thinks all women are weird and gross. And, you know, it's not going that far, but it does toe the line sometimes.
Yeah.
Not in the explicit prose, but in how all the other female characters are written. Like they're all shallow and vapid and cruel, or they're really nice and tried to kill me.
Yeah.
So like and you know,
part of it I think is a consequence of like in order to establish like Tori gets bullied at school. So like all the girls she meets at school have to be mean and catty.
Oh, I guess isn't there... I was almost thinking of like Totally Spies for a second. Because there's like that one character.
There's like Mandy. Every girl at this high school basically except for Hannah is Mandy.
Well, because isn't there like a trio of girls that
there's like a trio of popular girls.
They
call
really
them the
see them
tripod.
Yeah,
I think in my adaptation I condensed the tripod into one mean girl character because I was like, you three all have the same personality. We don't need three of you.
There was a little bit I noticed at some moments where like two of the tripod legs were a little meaner and the third one was a little like willing to compromise, especially in the cotillion scene where the third one was always like, well, she does look actually very nice.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised and she did well.
Yeah.
And the other two were like, but she's gross and poor. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I think it's like a natural consequence of like in order to establish these key parts of Tori's character, which is like she feels like an outsider, she feels like she doesn't fit in, then you have to make like a lot of characters around her really antagonistic in that way.
Yeah.
But then it's just kind of like, okay, like there are some nice people at this school and it's Jason and then Hannah, but she doesn't even like really know Hannah. She kind of just knows Hannah in passing, but there's always, I think the biggest problem with Hannah is her quote unquote friendship. They're not even really friends, but her friendship with Hannah is always shadowed by the fact that like, oh, like I kind of like your boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I'm always just jealous of you and not really like I like you as a person.
Hannah is also completely fine with the status quo.
Yeah.
Even when she's sympathetic towards Tori, short for Tournament of Champions, she like only does it in private. And like she's completely silent with just giving like sympathetic looks or just looks in public. And so like she never takes action to like protect or like, you know, foster any sort of friendship.
Yeah. And then we have
also the killing.
Yeah, also that at the very end. And then we have Whitney, which again, from what I read in book like of people's impressions of book 5, they liked how Tori's relationship with Whitney wrapped up or like where it ended on. So I'm going to give the series like the benefit of the doubt that like these things are explored more in later books. Because I also like, I don't want to say like this character has to be like completely perfect in this first book, you know?
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like when we talked about like in Avatar for the adaptation where they're like, Sokka can't be like a misogynist because like we want like book 3 Sokka.
Right.
So it's almost like, oh, we don't want Tori to like have negative opinions of women in this first book.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still very likable.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, hopefully this improves in the later books is the idea.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did you have a final question?
I was trying to think of a good final question or follow-up for you for everything you've said, but I think you've pretty much like covered like the full extent of your feelings. The most I could say is like, what else? I just have one question for Jino.
Mm.
Where were you getting all of these Tory Brennan alternative names from? You don't have a list in front of you. They're just coming to you.
What are you talking about? Tory, short for torn around. Every time I haven't been talking, I've just been furiously trying to think of Tory puns.
I do think this is just like the like anxious part of my brain definitely has the thought where like when I brought this to class to be like, I'm going to write an adaptation about this book series. And then the very first page says Victoria, quote, Tory Brennan. And then everyone in my class, I bet, was like, the main character's name is Victoria.
Oh, man.
It's not a self-insert, I swear. That's just her name. But I mean, it's always fun for me, of course, whenever there's a character named Victoria in anything.
Yeah. Then it's
Yeah.
just you now.
Yeah.
It's just me.
I can't
am
believe
Tori.
you hate women.
Okay, I guess maybe like the last... No. I just have a lot of thoughts about
Okay, but I don't hate women, but... No, I'm kidding.
Victoria does not hate women. Trust me, Victoria does not.
I think I have a lot of like personal feelings about just the general trope of like a lot of stories have like the Power Rangers, for example. It's always like 2 guys and 1 girl. The women are the minority. Obviously, it's like great to see stories with like friendships between like men and women but the other flip side of it is like Tori has like 5 friends that are male and 3 of them have a crush on her or like flirt with her consistently. And it's just kind of like, I hate that particularly, a hallmark of the genre. Like I still have thoughts on this that I still am not quite at the level of where I can articulate my like full feelings on it, which is why it is kind of interesting to like revisit these books that I read when I was younger that in a way kind of not like, I wouldn't say like this like shaped me as a person and my like thoughts and feelings, but it is definitely like reflective of like how I grew up and like the society that I grew up in a way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe like expectations that you had, perceptions of the world around you, what was normal in some way.
Yeah. One thing, for example, is like I actually didn't have a lot of friends who were guys growing up because I did like when I was like younger and then people kept saying like, oh, do you guys like each other? And then I felt like really awkward about it. And then so I stopped leaning into like male friendships as much. And I kind of like regret that sometimes where I'm kind of like, oh, I actually like really valued this particular friendship, but then like ended up pulling away from it because as I grew up, suddenly it was like no longer quote unquote socially acceptable, which is like something that Tori kind of experiences in terms of like Whitney being like, you can't be friends with these boys. It's not proper or whatever. Like it really like, it's not a problem that Tori has friends who are guys. It's just like, it would be nice if like she also had friends who were girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really all the crux of the issue, I think.
I think that was well said, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't want to misarticulate my opinion on this.
I need gender studies professors. Please email us at MouseKnight Studios.
Well, thank you so much for listening to our episode about virals. If you read these books or if you want us to read more of these books, I don't know, send us a message. We love reading your comments. You can leave us a comment on this episode. You can follow us, rate us 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice. You can email us at nostalgicapodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts and suggestions. You can also follow us on Instagram at nostalgicapodcast. We also have another show that we produce under MouseKnight Studios and future shows to come, so you can follow us at MouseKnight Studios everywhere. Also, if you like the show and you would like to support us monetarily, we have a Ko-fi for donations, and we really appreciate it.
And until next time, I'm completely out of Tory puns. I can't think of a single other one. I'm trying really hard.
You did come up with a staggering amount.
Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, because I really need one more.
Tourniquet.
Tourniquet.
Like the tourniquet that Chance Claybourne probably got after he got shot by his girlfriend.
Yeah!
They said it just grazed him. No, I'm kidding.
What if I was like, it's like, and what happened to Chance? Is he, oh no, he's dead. Oh, it was really bad, actually.
And then he comes back as a ghost.
Ooh. Maybe they in order to save him, they give him a blood transfusion.
Yeah, with wolf blood.
Wolf blood, because it's all they had, I guess.
That'd be crazy. It cuts to a shot of Chance Claybourne in like one of those like tubes, like medical tubes that you
like
see
an
in
IV?
No, like in superhero shows.
Oh,
he's in a Bacta tank.
Where like the head of Candela Pharmaceuticals is like,
yeah.
We will rebuild him.
We have the dogs.
Stronger, faster, smellier, easily distracted by squirrels.
Chance
Replete
comes
with
back to life.
separation anxiety.
Oh my gosh. Chance comes back to life and Tori's like, Chance, like what happened to you? He's like, well, you see, squirrel. And they're like, okay, we figured out what's going on.
Turns out he got a different parvovirus. This one's not as good.
I think in book 5, another group of virals shows up.
Oh.
Ooh.
I always do this.
Yeah.
There's always got to be another, like...
I will report back. I will try and at some point, probably not for this season's recap, but at some point I might just pop in with a little update about the rest of the viral series if people are interested and just be like, here are my thoughts. And that'll be it.
Tory, short for Torby or not Torby?
Okay, we're going to cut it there.